Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into podcast Room 303. This is episode 237. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. This is my co-host, Nicholas Morahan. And we have with us executive producer, Nevada Putnam. On today's episode, we'll be getting into pop culture pick'em, top 5 names that could be friends with themselves, head-to-head review, what the fuck headlines, NFL divisional round review, as well as a preview of the NFL Conference Championship game. Without further ado, how are you doing this evening, Nick?
I'm good, man. My favorite baseball player of all time, against unfathomable odds, Reed Corsfield, was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I'm doing pretty good.
There you go. So that's a spoiler for the topic we'll get into on episode 238. We'll be discussing the MLB Hall of Fame. Surprises, disappointments, the usual kind of get up that the Room 303 gambit runs. But how are you doing this evening, Nevada?
I'm doing good, Jermaine. I echo what Nick said. Today at about 4:15 Mountain Standard Time was a good time to be a fan in baseball. So that's all I have to say for now.
Ooh, professional spoiler. Let's go. All right. I guess that kind of wraps that introduction up. That was actually a pretty short, concise. It never happens. We usually ramble on. And
with that being said,
oh no, let's go ahead and get into pop culture pick'em. We're getting into some interesting pop culture pick'em topics. Obviously, we're running out of ideas, so if you have any, go ahead and feel free to send them our way. If you don't have any, then suck it up because they'll still be pretty entertaining. Top 5 names that could be friends with themselves. So I was asked for pre-show for a little bit of clarity, so I'll give people at home a little bit of clarity before we get into it. Today's order is Nick, myself, and then Nevada. And this is kind of people who are less ego-driven that you've run into in life that you could see would be all right with someone else having their name and being friends with themselves. So Nevada, Nick, and Jermaine are clearly and obviously disqualified. Jermaine and Nevada more so because there's not that many of us running around. But let's go ahead and get into it, Nick.
My first pick is going to be the name Elvis. Elvis is definitely a dude that needs to be friends with himself and his collection of animals. I'm not going to specify what collection. It could be reptiles, it could be bugs, it could be cats, but Elvis definitely is a friend with himself.
Elvis, like, I've never met an Elvis. Have you ever met an Elvis?
The only Elvis I know of other than the famous Elvis is former Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Elvis Grbac.
Oh my God. I knew it was going to be another professional, another famous person. I was like this.
But so that's why you don't hear about Elvises, because they're not out there.
So the answer is no. If they're not out there, how can Elvis be friends with themselves? Doesn't that
because they only hang out with themselves?
Nick, I'm going to throw you a little curveball. I won't be surprised if Elvis Dumervil once sacked Elvis Grbac.
Oh, that's a thing to look up. All right, while you guys go through this list of names, I'm going to look if same first names have ever sacked each other.
Elvis Dumervil was a fun DN to watch. It's my pick. I'm going to go with Chris. So Chris was a super common name for me growing up. You had Chris CH, you had Chris just with a C, you had Christian, who always shortened his name to Chris. you had Chris with a K that they kind of fucked up spelled for dudes, even though I think that's customary of female way of spelling it. So I think I had tons of friends that were Chris's, and they had friends that were Chris's, and that was just the first name that came to my mind. On to you, Nevada. Give us your 1-2.
Right. So I tweaked my list a little bit. I was thinking kind of more people that might be maybe loners a little bit. When I hear the name, that's kind of what I hear. This one just hit me like a freight train. I don't know why, but Shiloh.
Shiloh. That's a good one.
So you went the loner route as well for Elvis. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys missed the mark. It's all right.
Just all my picks are loner names.
Yeah, I mean that's one way to approach this this conversation. That is not, that's not how it is. But hey, what's your number 2? Shiloh. First of all, known a Shiloh personally?
No, what was it was like a big craze, probably like right around when we were in middle school, something like that, early 2000s or something. There was some book or movie where Shiloh like blew up for a time.
Oh, was it Holes? What was the name in
Maybe.
Holes? Breaking news: Doc Rivers just agreed to become the next head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
So Shiloh, I thought Shiloh was a dog.
Right. Yeah, Shiloh's a dog's name, but yeah, I don't know. I just hear that. That name came to me. I was like, oh, that is definitely a Shiloh and Shiloh. Those are buddies.
Sure.
This next one's kind of like an old man, middle-aged kind of guy. And I just picture them sitting at the bar talking to each other. Gary and Gary.
Oh, Gary and Gary. That's a fantastic name. Garys are friends with themselves.
That is a fantastic choice. I didn't even think of Gary, but yeah, for sure. Like there might be an exclusive club of just Garys.
Of Garys, yeah.
What was you know they have a nasty mustache and like greasy hair.
Just a bunch of turds.
Yeah.
I wish I remember the name, but there's a name, and you know what? It might be Kyle. But there's like an event where if you have the same first name, they all get together for a big party.
I think it is Kyle's. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is Kyle's. Shiloh. Did you guys remember that Beagle movie of Shiloh?
Yes. Yeah.
Something vaguely. Yeah.
I remember that movie from a kid. That's the first thing I thought of when you said that. I was like, Shiloh has always been a dog name to me. I don't know any actual Shilohs. I don't even know famous Shilohs, I don't think. My next pick is going to be Melissa.
Oh, Melissa's a good one.
I'm growing up, and I messed that up. Growing up, I guess Melissa was a super common name for Hispanics growing up. I don't know if it's still a common name for Hispanics, but I knew like 5 Melissas, and 3 of them were like friends with each other in elementary and middle school, and that was just kind of annoying because you always had to be like, which one? Right? Because Melissa said such and such, and I'm like, which one? But ever since then, I've always just assumed that all Melissas like each other.
Okay, so going back to the Kyle thing, Kyle, Texas, in May of last year, tried to set the record.
There you go.
For the single largest gathering of people with the same name, with the same first name together at the same time in the same place. The record was 2,325, with a city in Bosnia, in which that many Ivans gathered. They found that many people named Ivan, over 2,000 people named Ivan. Unfortunately, only 1,500 Kyles showed up.
Oh, unfortunately.
But they're going to do it next year. They're breaking the world record next year, apparently. For my next pick, I'm going to go with Amelia. Amelia is someone who can be friends with themselves.
Yeah, from the loner perspective.
Yeah.
Because the Amelia is the name of my car. I don't know any Amelias.
Well, your car has to be friends with itself. Long hours in the garage.
Yeah, because Lord knows I don't drive anywhere anymore.
I'm gonna go Theodore with my third pick. Theodore is another name, but not on the basis of being a loner. On the basis of Theodore Roosevelt, who had to go on long walks in the woods by himself, so he had to be a friend with himself.
So on the basis of being a loner.
Exactly. I just wanted to make it. I just wanted to make it seem like I wasn't continuing the trend because you seem to be upset with this list of names that I picked.
No, these are just like the most obscure names ever. Like,
right? Because you haven't heard a lot of them because they are only friends with themselves.
Yeah, we missed the mark on this. My next one is Sean, and Sean. Because there's so many ridiculous ways to spell that name, and I officially don't like any of them.
Oh, I'm getting it now. Okay, makes sense. People that have the same name. Okay, all right. Yeah, I missed the mark on this. All right, Nevada, you go.
It's all right. Nevada had a loner too as well, but there was.
That's right. This next one kind of goes right in line with what you just said, Jermaine. And one of the greatest TV shows of all time, Ed, and Eddie, and Edward.
See, that's a great one, because it's more along the lines of like they had no choice. Everyone wants their own name, but you had no choice growing up because there was a fuck ton of them running around. Like, I wonder what's a super common name in the Northeast. Roger.
Roger's that loner again.
Roger is more of a loner kind of guy, right? Like Ned is for sure a loner. I bet you Eds don't even acknowledge Neds.
Oh yeah, totally different people.
You remember? Did anyone watch Ned's Declassified?
Yes, dude, 100%. Now they're like weird. They're like making pornos now or something.
What?
Weren't they? What didn't they come out? They came out and did like a documentary where they were like, yeah, we were fucking all the time on that set.
Oh,
it was.
That's not necessarily porno though.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're talking. You know. You know.
I thought you were about ready to bust out like Ned's assified or something.
Yeah. Ned's deassified.
That's a whole. And they started using the other classifieds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the back pages.
Did I just date myself with a classified reference?
I think you did, dude.
How many people under the age of 27 have no fucking clue what I'm talking about when I say?
Or like the yellow pages?
Yeah, I was just gonna say yellow pages.
The yellow pages. I can't wait to hit my daughter with the yellow pages.
Yeah, I think people still know about the yellow pages though, because up until like 4 years ago, they were still handing those bitches out. Bro.
There's no way. Dude.
Where?
There's no way.
It wasn't until at least the last 10 years that they stopped handing out.
Oh, I'm sure, but it was 10 years ago.
Nah, I don't know. We'd have to look that up.
I haven't seen a phone book in probably a good 10, 12 years.
And believe me, if there was a phone book, Greg Putnam would have it.
Greg,
if they were available.
He has them all.
Yeah. All right. So my next one on the back-to-back is I'll go with Ken, Kenny, Kenneth.
The final yellow pages were printed in 2019, by the way.
Let's go! I fucking told you! That was a COVID casualty. I fucking told you. Let's fucking go. We were going to still have yellow pages if COVID did not exist. If China did not run wild. They went full Hulkamania on us. Ken, Kenny, and Kenneth is a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And then I'm going to go with an example that I gave at the beginning. John.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just like that is John is like it's so common that when they don't know your name, they give you the name John.
You could also have just a friend group of Johns that be completely different.
100%.
Like a white guy, a black guy, an Asian guy. You know what? Because I am a professional podcaster, I did a mid pop culture pick'em audible here. And
you should have kept
my fourth name, Sam.
That's a great pick.
Because you could even date a Sam, and you don't have to be gay. You can be straight. You can just date Sam and Sam.
Nowadays, you can date Sam and end up being gay.
That's true. Yeah, I don't want anybody to think that that's not okay either, based on the comments I just look. I got to fill the role of Eric, okay? So I got to say kind of sketchy stuff. And then my final one, and I'm going to take this from one of my favorite Andy Samberg productions, and that's going to be Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping, and that's going to be Tony. If everybody remembers the famous band Tony.
I thought you were gonna go with Nick and Nicholas.
No, fuck Nick's, dude.
No,
I honestly cannot stand other dudes named Nick. That's not true. That's
exactly.
not true. I cannot stand most guys named Nick.
Exactly. That would be a candidate for next week's list. A little foreshadowing there, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'm going to wrap this up because for some reason you guys only thought it was dudes. But no, women.
Sam doesn't have to be Sam can be a girl.
Sam is gender neutral.
Look, dude, everyone could be everything nowadays. There's
no. I'm saying like pre-2000, Sam could have been a girl.
I get it. Everyone could be everything. Jesus Christ, I am Jesus.
Jesus Christ can't be everything. Okay. He's always inside of you.
I'm gonna go with Alexandra.
That's a good one.
Alexandria. You know what I mean? But also there are dudes named Alex. Oh, Alexis. Alexis. I knew a dude named Alexis. And
that's a pretty famous Russian name.
Alexis is, yeah, that's true.
Alexis is also a car. Nevada, on to you.
I will stick with the theme of the multiple names. I'll go with like a Kathy, Katie, Catherine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she has too many cats. I get it. Yeah.
Right.
Back to the loner.
We're back to the loner theme. Those goddamn pussycats.
Yeah.
Well, my next honorable mention was going to be Keith. Nobody wants to be a friend with a Keith.
Keith, I actually did have Keith on my original list, but I took it off.
Wait, Keith, nobody wants to be friends with Keith, so Keith would be on next week's list, or Keiths would be friends with Keiths?
Yes.
I feel like Dougs are friends with Dougs. I feel like anytime you can find like a white guy with like a kind of odd name, like they're friends with each other.
Like Kevin.
Like Kevin's. Yeah. Kevin's are friends with Kevin's.
Yeah. Kevin Smith is friends with Kevin McAllister for sure.
Right.
Do you guys know the last name of the royal family?
Is it Winchester?
No, you're close though.
Windsor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Windsor, yeah. Mid podcast, I don't know why that popped into my head. I was just like, what is their last name?
Ooh. So
what is their last name?
Thursday night that you gentlemen are here. Let's do a trivia night.
Nah, you're whack.
Okay, fine.
You stink at trivia, bro.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to do it anyway, so it's cool.
I'm glad you didn't get excited.
Fucking whatever.
Nerd.
This is why we don't like Knicks.
Fuck them. Always with their bad fucking ideas.
Speaking of, we gotta buy Wizards tickets and Caps tickets soon.
Dude, they won't be sold out.
No, they will not.
We could probably get pretty decent seats at the gate.
My boy Alex said that he got some for $17, and I was like, "Yo, they're giving them away. That's like taxes and fees only."
I remember my buddy who lives in New York and is a diehard Mets fan. So of course you got it like. He's like used to buying like 3 weeks out. You gotta like schedule the game. You gotta like get your seats. He was like, "Bro, do we need to get tickets for the Mets Nats game?" I was like, "Dog, we can walk up and get $5 seats, and they're gonna be great seats." They give you a beer with it too.
They're giving them away out there.
100%.
All right, so that wraps up. Wait, sorry. Any honorable mentions? I know we hit Keith, Kevin. I want to
So-
interject Maria.
Maria's good. Maria.
Mm.
Back to the loner. Back to the loner conversation. Any guy that says their full name but doesn't let you shorten it. So it's like, hey, I'm Michael. And you're like, oh, what's up, Mike? And they're like, no, it's Michael. Like they can only be friends with themselves.
Yeah, could Michael be a friend with another Michael though?
No.
No chance, right?
No chance.
No chance.
No.
That's like a candidate for the next list.
You can't find two Michaels. They have to register, I think. It's like a sex offenders list. There can't be two Michaels within like I think 5 or 10 square miles, depending on the county ordinance.
It's one Michael to rule them all, right?
I think that's how it goes. There can only be one Michael.
Outside of jails, it's statistically impossible for two psychopaths to be in the same room at the same time. So you can't have two Michaels.
Run that past me again.
Is that a
Is
real
that a
statistic? Are you
No,
just
but it sounded
pulling
pretty
that
good,
out?
didn't it?
Yeah,
It did sound pretty good.
Phenomenal.
And especially from someone especially for someone around that field, I was like, wait, hold on.
Dog, I was just like, that sounds almost impossible, but also kind of true at the same time.
Let's roll with it.
I was like, is that fucking accurate?
Could you imagine the census? And you, sir, are a psychopath, but you, sir, are not. Okay. Well, we're meeting the trend.
Yep.
All right. So today's lists, we not enough explanation pre-show. we ended up, Nick had Elvis, Amelia, Theodore, Sam, Sammy, Samuel, and Tony and Anthony, which happens to be my middle name. And then I wait Chris, Melissa, Sean, John, Johnny, Jonathan, Alex, Alexandra, Alexandria, Alexis, Alexa. Like it just keeps going. And Nevada had Shiloh, Gary, and Gary, Ed, Eddie, and Edward, Ken, Kenny, Kenneth, and Katie, Kathy, Catherine, and
dude. Ed, hold on. I would like to submit a formal complaint. Ed and Eddie are friends. Edward is not in that group.
Yeah,
he is too good for the Ed Eddie.
Edward's more of a Michael kind of guy.
Yeah, that's a Michael. You say, hey man, were you hanging out with Ed the other day? He says, no, I don't hang out with those ruffians.
Yeah, and if Edward was going to shorten his name, he'd go by Ward.
I would have to physically resist the urge to punch somebody in the face. If I was like, it was like Ward, it's short for Edward. I would be like, you didn't get beat up enough as a kid, did you? Let me guess, boarding school?
Oh man, I'm gonna pitch that to anyone who has a kid from now on, just so I can see your reaction.
Oh my god, I'd be like, you're gonna get like it's gonna be like the Arthur meme. Just like mother.
All right, so that wraps up Pop Culture Pick'em. Let us know in the comments why I won again. It just seems like they just can't pick, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get into
You're defining the categories at this point. So
let's go. I asked you guys for inputs every single fucking time. It's not my fault you don't give any. So let's go ahead and get into head-to-head here. We have the results from last week. Thank God someone picked a winner.
You're welcome.
Well, calm down. You still missed 2 other bets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thought this was America.
So right now, Nevada is on a consistent streak of going 1 for 2. He leads in wins right now at 3-6. He had 2 NHL he had an NHL parlay miss. And then he had Arizona Coyotes money line, which hit. And he missed a mixed parlay of NHL and NFL. Nick had 1 NHL parlay and 2 NFL parlays. All 3 of them missed. I honestly don't know if any of them were particularly close.
I'm kicking myself, dude. I really am, because I had 2 head-to-head picks submitted that I took pictures of in DraftKings to submit. And I just didn't send them to the group. And one of them hit. And it was a plus 300 hockey Money line.
Well, that's tough breaks. You did try to still get it on your ledger after you hit.
I did. Can't knock a man for trying.
Right.
I had an NBA parlay, which was sunk. I think it was 2 legs that actually missed, but Boston had their first loss at home since March 5th of 2023. And I just happened to bet on him in that game, of course. And then my UFC parlay, Malik got snuck and Silva lost the title. She actually dropped the title to Raquel Pennington, who I believe took the fight on short notice. And then Dricus Duplessis did end up winning. I didn't watch the card. I'll probably watch it when it comes to ESPN Plus. But so I don't know. I can check. I don't know the results that he won in. And then I had one of the most ridiculous NFL parlays that you're gonna look at, and it almost everything hit, which is crazy. Sam Laporta got a red zone target, didn't catch the touchdown. So that anytime touchdown missed. And it was between him and Cade Otton for me because both teams are bad at guarding the tight end. And Cade Otton got the score and he got it early. And I knew Sam Laporta was sunk. It was just karmic gods. Then Buffalo money line missed. I mean, that's essentially a pick 'em game, but Buffalo money line. Buffalo money line should not have missed. And then I don't think Casey lost a fumble, if I'm mistaken.
I don't think they did either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think they won the turnover. They won the turnover about a 1-0.
Yeah, and but Mahomes and Allen were fucking running wild from
they did
from tip. And so I was super annoyed with that parlay because it was 20,300, and to miss on just a few legs, like a red zone opportunity. So, but to wrap up the odds, Nick is 2-7 plus 9-4, riding high on those 2 huge parlays he hit in weeks 1 and week 2, respectively. What are you laughing at?
Kansas City did lose a fumble.
Oh my God, that just made it worse, dude.
So wait, what? Laporta touchdown, right?
Laporta anytime touchdown, which I wanted to put Cade Otton, and then Buffalo money line. So if Laporta corrals that red zone target, right? If it's a better target, because I think it was over his head, and gets that touchdown, and Buffalo ended up losing by 3 because Mahomes and Allen always play a fucking back and forth crazy game. Oh man.
Hey buddy. I had both Laporta anytime touchdown and Buffalo money line in my bets last week.
Well, there it is. There it is.
You need to start asking.
I need access to your bets before I put them in. I fucking hate you. Oh,
I'm also by the way, I'm also 0 for 10 tonight, which is kind of amazing.
That is pretty amazing. I'll give you that.
I have streaks where it's like, okay, I need some money for this.
Bro, that's so devastating. You couldn't have told me after I had submitted it for head to head. I would have changed it.
I honestly didn't see it. I didn't look at it that hard until after. And then I was like, wow, this actually has a chance of hitting.
That's tough. At plus 2,300, dude. I was watching
plus 2,000 or 20,300.
Yeah, 20,300. I keep saying 2,300.
Yeah.
No, that's still right. 2,300 is the same thing.
No, 2,300 is. Yes, I guess 20. I guess 2,300 is
300. That's how I've been saying it. I'm just fucking with you. I'm 1-8, and I'm somehow better units than Nevada.
Yeah, my wins ain't stacking up on the unit size.
My guy has 3 wins. He's at -3 units. I have 1 win and I'm -1.78. Let's go. I love big bets. I'm putting in another wild NFL parlay. Nick, I need your bets up front.
Okay. All right.
Nick has submitted 2 bets already. I posted them this morning on Twitter and Instagram, so feel free to check those out. As always, as we always say, you know the motto. I always feel like when I say that, I'm going to start singing Drake. But anything else for head-to-head?
Fade us.
No, I mean, if you would have followed the podcast motto, we just made you a bunch of money. We'll send you our Venmos. You're welcome.
We should start requesting payment after they win a successful fade.
Percentage, like 3%. 3% of every fade goes back to Room 303.
All right, let's get into what the fuck headline. We have 2 submissions this week, one from Nevada, one from Nick. Boys, which one do we want to start with?
Mine's up front, so I'll talk about mine. So I can't even remember where I saw this. I just saw it, and the headline was perfect. Marathon runner is disqualified for chain smoking during a Chinese race.
His name is Smoking Uncle Chen.
Here's the most bonkers part. So that's a bonkers article. The second bullet of the headline of the article says the Chinese Athletics Association implemented a ban on smoking during marathons last year. That's insane. It took him till 2023 to be like, well, technically, is it really that bad if you're running a marathon and smoking?
I don't see how
it's performance enhancing, right? That's why you ban it.
It's not performance enhancing.
It opens the lungs.
I think that's the opposite of what smoke does. The fact that it was legal last year and they really banned this, man. Like, did he win though?
No, when I scrolled to the article, he finished. It wasn't bad, especially for a guy who's like 52 or something.
3 hours and 33 minutes is fantastic.
But yeah, he says he does it to like help him focus on breathing, which is so ironic.
The third bullet said it helps him relieve fatigue.
Yeah, relieve fatigue.
Performance enhancer.
Get the fuck out.
So in a statement posted on Weibo, the Xiamen Marathon confirmed that a participant violated an article of its rules and regulations, which prohibits a wild range of stuff.
That's what I was just reading that too.
Open defecation, smoking, or trampling on flower beds or green spaces. I love how they walked it down. Like, don't you shit on the course. Don't you smoke on the course. I swear to God, if you guys run over flowers.
And what do I always say about these rules, Nick?
They're meant to be broken?
No, they exist because someone did them.
They exist for a reason.
So we were in Japan, and they put up photos on how to use their toilets. And I am actually in the restroom using the toilet, and I'm looking at this sign, and I snap a photo and send it to Nick and Eric because I'm just like, someone has sat on this toilet like this before.
Yeah, 100%.
Pulled it out of the wall because he was too heavy, leaned backwards, water was going everything. So that means someone has actively defecated on this marathon course before.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So there's not much more to get into that. That's hysterical. Give the man his finish back.
I love how they made him run the whole marathon and then we're like, nope, you're disqualified.
If you're going to disqualify him, give him his money back, you assholes.
No doubt, yeah.
And then,
this is mine, sent to me by the lovely Katie Gamble. Kanye West's 850,000 titanium teeth are, quote, fixed and permanent, unlike grills and veneers. It's, quote, experimental dentistry, end quote. This is just bonkers, right? They're tungsten, right? Titanium. And they're like on his teeth. It's incredible.
Known as fixed prosthodontics.
Yeah.
It was and it's experimental dentistry that was designed entirely by Kanye.
Oh, yeah. That's who I want my research and developer to be. It's Kanye.
People go fucking crazy for this man. I don't understand it. And quite frankly, it's sickening because this is about to be a multi-million-dollar industry. And all he needs is a second person to do the operation to be in the millions already at $850,000. And now it's just another thing that people are, dude, they're slowly chipping away at people, and they're just be like, yo, okay, well, let's just become cyborgs. And people are willingly going to line up for that shit.
Kanye West became a cyborg. Why don't you become a cyborg?
Yeah, bro. Kanye West says cyborgs are the future.
Cyborgs are really cool.
Can't afford Kanye cyborgs? Try this new aluminum feature for the
Right.
poor.
Right. You don't like that? How about Cyborg by Tesla?
So he worked alongside the self-proclaimed father of diamond dentistry,
Nevada,
Dr.
click on that man's
Thomas
name. How white
Connolly.
is that man? Thomas Connolly. How white is Thomas Connolly? Oh, not white.
He's not white at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Damn. All right. Good for him.
He's white.
Nah, but not like you'd expect him to be like Beverly Hills plastic surgeon white.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like Keith White.
He's worked with Lil Yachty, Offset, OBJ, Shaq, Post Malone. Damn, no Kanye West posted on his Instagram.
Nah, he just took his $850,000 and called it the pleasure of doing business.
They look like vampire teeth. They look like Robo Dog teeth.
Oh,
scroll down to this picture.
Very important. His teeth weren't removed.
Weren't removed. Thank God. There they are. He's got friggin' Robo teeth.
And he spiked them?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Just to cry for help.
Love it.
To cry for help. This man is a tortured soul. You got to feel for him a little bit.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you date the Kardashians. You either cut off your dick or you pay way too much for veneers.
Yep. Okay, that's enough. I'm done with Kanye. That's I've had my fill. All right, boys, let's go ahead and get into the NFL divisional round review. We'll do the same thing we always do: one surprise, one disappointment. It could be two surprises. Just two takeaways. I always stumble through this portion, but two takeaways from the divisional round. Before you get into it, Nick, your record last week was 3-7.
Bad week.
I went 5-7-2 with a Bo Melton anytime touchdown cashing. I was mocked. He's plus 800. Suck my butt. How about that? And then Nevada. I mean, thanks for joining last week. Welcome to the show. 1-8, delivering the fades for the people. Just a superstar picker. I mean, that's an elite percentage. All right, so Nevada, let's start with you. Since you had went 1-8, let's start with you. What were your two takeaways?
I think my first takeaway will probably be I'll go to the KC and Buffalo game. I know a lot of people kind of hype it up as the new Manning and Brady rivalry. I don't know. Until Buffalo can break the curse of missing field goals in the playoffs, this was their one shining moment to beat KC in the playoffs. KC had a down year.
Buffalo had a down year too.
They did, but the second half of the season they were on fire to get back into the playoffs. So you can point to things on both sides, but this was the year for them to finally beat KC. They have KC on the road. First time Mahomes has been on the road aside from the Super Bowl. And they just blow it.
Peyton struggled against Tom as well, didn't he?
He did, but to me, it seems like the Bills and Josh Allen are just completely snake bitten against the Chiefs in the playoffs. And this was the year. I don't know what they're going to have to do because they're going to have to blow up that roster, get rid of some money and some age, and reload. I don't know what's going to happen, but sorry, Bills fans, the kickers in the playoffs, not bueno.
You know, Bills fans could have responded. I mean, they've been in the news lately for kind of, being kind of shitheads, and everyone kind of loves Bills fans. typically, but they've been in the news for especially the snowballs, throwing them at the Chiefs. Like, not that snowballs are really that big a deal, but it's not how you want to comport yourself. But I will say they donated over 100,000 to Tyler Bass's charity since he's missed that kick, and it's ironic because Tyler Bass has been a terrific kicker for them.
It's the announcer's jinx. It's literally as he's walking up to kick it, they showed a graphic on the bottom of the screen that said, when the Bills are tied or trailing by 3 or less, Tyler Bass is 9 for 9 in field goals in his career. And boop.
I love that we're sorry, go ahead, Nevada.
Well, I was just going to say that awful fake punt that they ran was at the second or third quarter.
I didn't even see that play, man.
It was just the Chiefs had 10 men on the field, Jermaine, and they still ran it for a 3-yard gain. The Chiefs.
Do you know who was the ball carrier on that play?
I've seen memes that it's like DeMar Hamlin, and it was like one of those. It was one of those videos where they hand the ball off to the
Make-A-Wish kid.
Make-A-Wish kid, and everyone runs with him. It was like that. It was like what Sean McDermott thought the Chiefs were going to do with. So they had 10 men and got 3 yards, needed 5 on a fake punt.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like was he close? It was like a very clear stop.
Yeah, he had to struggle for those 3 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, so my man's had yards after contact.
No. Yard
maybe,
after contact.
Yeah, maybe yard.
Oh, I have to watch.
They snuffed that out.
Yeah,
too quick. It was terrible.
I didn't have the sound on that. I was watching other. I had 3 games on at the time, so I don't even. Everyone kept talking about this fake punt. I was just like, "What the fuck are people talking about?" I didn't even see that, dude.
Mahomes is now with his 38th touchdown pass. He threw 2 in the game. With his 38th touchdown pass, he now passes Drew Brees for 6th most in NFL postseason history, and he also passed with his 215 yards. He also passed Dan Marino for 9th most passing yards in postseason history.
Yeah, what is this? 6 straight AFC championship games?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting when we get into the actual preview for the next 2 games. But all right, so Nevada, was that 1 or 2 takeaways for you?
1. The second one, I'll just run through real quick. The Lions got it. They're rolling. Obviously, we'll see what happens here with San Fran, but I was thinking that this would be a letdown, just a mental letdown, but they came out and they showed up. It was very impressive.
And they made the play that they needed to make at the end in the 4th quarter again. Like, that's something that I hadn't really paid attention to, but it was like, so I think maybe ESPN pointed it out, but like, they have been very clutch in the 4th quarter. So if they can keep it close against San Fran, that'll be pretty interesting. All right, Nick, to you.
Well, I'll kind of combine my 2 into 1. I think that in the 2 games that we saw on Saturday, the Saturday. Houston, Baltimore, and Green Bay, San Francisco were Saturday, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the games that we saw Saturday was really an example of the 2 quarterbacks that we had hyped so much last week, CJ Stroud and Jordan Love. Why were they good all season? It was because they didn't try to make the pass. They didn't try to fit the windows. They let the game come to them, and they didn't force plays, right? I feel like if they continued that way, we're talking about a completely different ball game against teams where if you do let the game come to you and you don't force mistakes, they struggle, right? You talked about it last week, Jermaine. Baltimore struggles against teams in the playoffs, right? Because Lamar always tries to do the superhero act because
coming out of bye, yeah.
Right, because the team that he's playing normally lets the game come to them and they go out and they get a win, right? San Francisco is a team that if you let them play and you force them to make mistakes early, you're probably going to beat them. What we saw from CJ Stroud and Jordan Love was that they were forcing the game. They were trying to win a football game, and that caused them to lose against Baltimore. Brock Purdy didn't have a great game. 58% completion percentage. Lamar Jackson didn't have a great game. He only threw 22 passes for 151 yards, 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? It was because the 2 defenses stepped up in that game and really made the difference.
Yeah, I mean, but you could tell Jordan Love and CJ Stroud were playing 2 drastically different caliber of defenses.
Right.
And that is important to say. Like you have to force it against the Ravens defense. That defense is crazy. What the fuck were the Bears thinking trading Roquan Smith? That's what were they thinking trading Roquan Smith? Now they're talking about they need someone to pair with Montez Sweat. You know who would pair really nicely with Montez Sweat?
Roquan Smith?
Roquan fucking Smith, dog. Oh. This Ravens defense also, Houston runs the San Francisco offense. And I do not know why I didn't factor that into my thought process when it came to betting. But this is why we tell you to fade us. The Ravens smacked the 49ers this year. I mean, smacked them. And the 49ers were red hot at the time. This was like week 15 or week 16. And they did the same thing again. And here's it was tied at halftime. It was 10-10. And people were probably like, oh, this Houston team, they're in it. Myself included. It wasn't until it was 17-10 and Baltimore was marching down again to push the lead up to 24 or something that I sat back and realized, holy fuck, the Houston Texans have not scored an offensive touchdown in this ballgame. The Houston Texans kicked 1 field goal and had a punt return for a touchdown. This was a complete domination by the Baltimore Ravens. And that's kind of scary. So,
and Nevada, back to your point, Brady was 9-3 against Peyton Manning in the regular season, but Manning actually held the advantage 3-2 in the postseason. Funny enough, no quarterback lost a game at home in the postseason. Neither quarterback did.
Oh, well, Josh Allen's already out on that.
Yeah. So this was Josh Allen's time to really cement what you were saying, but he blew it for you. So blame Josh Allen.
4-3 head-to-head in their careers. They played 7 times now. Patrick Mahomes has not lost in the playoffs.
That's just got to burn Josh Allen so bad just knowing that.
Bro, the meme of Stephon Diggs standing, and it's like, what's this dude doing? He's been standing for 3 years. When's he actually going to do something?
Yeah.
Brutal.
That's kind of sad, dude. Let me see if I can Diggs last 10. See if I can't find it. Stephon Diggs.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, for me, I don't know what you guys think. The divisional round is by far the best round of playoffs in football.
I agree.
The games are definitely closer than they were on Wild Card weekend. And
they're usually the closest. They're usually the closest slate of games, it feels like. And then from there, you're like, oh, this team is clearly going to be the favorite in the next game. And that, favorite doesn't always win, but for the most part, you kind of have a strong inkling of how things are going to go from there. But I wanted to bring one of my takeaways is Stephon Diggs. I guess where are you? I'm gonna have to put him on a milk carton because I don't really know what the fuck's going on. But last 10 Bills games, we'll just do receiving yards and targets. Player A, 37 targets, 462 yards. Player B, 80 targets, 422 yards. Who do you think player A is?
Shakir.
Correct.
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir, 37 targets,
Shakir. Yep.
37 targets, 462 yards.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs had 80 targets, 422 yards.
So just a little inside baseball. I bet a Khalil Shakir anytime touchdown. because the Chiefs are excellent at shutting down wide receiver ones, but not so good at shutting down slot wide receivers.
I think that's why you traded for L'Jarius Sneed, right? We were playing Madden yesterday. So Stephon Diggs' last 10 games, 3 for 21, 7 for 52, 7 for 87, 4 for 26, 5 for 29, 4 for 48, 4 for 24, 6 for 74 and 1, 4 for 27, and 3 for 34. I mean, I don't know what to do with that information, but it's alarming.
Well, you don't need to really bring it up until next postseason.
It's alarming. And I wonder where Stephon Diggs' brother is now.
Huh.
Now that we've seen Stephon Diggs' play not be good and Buffalo be good without him. He was real quick to chime up when Buffalo was in that rough patch and they fired their offensive coordinator. But they fired the offensive coordinator. The offense got way better, and Stephon Diggs still didn't do anything.
This past weekend also did ruin Nick and I's Super Bowl pick. So that was a bum. I wasn't going to say anything because we were riding high until Tyler Bass decided to crush the hopes and dreams of Bills fans everywhere. But
he said you can't ask for overtime rule changes if I just miss now.
All right, yeah.
But don't worry, because Katie asked me why I was so frustrated after the Bills lost. She's like, "You don't even like the Bills." I was like, "Yep, but I could have won $4,200, so
it's on you."
Yep. God, that was so annoying. And then that launched into my rant that she had just sit through of me yelling about Patrick Mahomes and how much I just despise him.
Okay,
I just don't like Patrick Mahomes. He's such a fucking baby. He's a baby about everything. Ever since he got this Netflix quarterback thing, he thinks he's this great guy who deserves everything. And he talks shit and he thinks he's so fucking cool because he's been in fucking every Super Bowl and he's the new Brady. And now he thinks he should get every call. And when he loses, he's like, oh, it's because of the refs. And when he wins, it's like, oh, it's all me. Like, I'm that dude. And when he loses, he's like, well, I can't possibly lose. I just didn't get the calls. He went from someone who I was like, guy coming out of Texas Tech, wasn't highly sought out coming after college, worked his way up, and was a really feel-good story. And then as soon as he got put on that Netflix quarterback documentary, it seemed like his head has exploded. We annihilated, not us in Room 303, but the media, the sports media annihilated Baker Mayfield because he had 4 commercials on at once. Now Patrick Mahomes, you cannot watch an NFL game commercial break without seeing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And we love him. We can't say anything about him. Matt Stafford made a throw in the Rams game that if it were Patrick Mahomes, everybody their heads would have exploded and servers would have crashed on the internet.
Yeah.
Because Matt Stafford has been making them for 10 years.
Before Patrick Mahomes was in the NFL, Matt Stafford was throwing the craziest no-looks. He was throwing them injured. He was throwing no-looks hurt. He came back. He didn't leave the game and still threw a no-look. But no, because it's the Detroit Lions, he got no pub.
Yeah, yes, Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback. I'm not ready to say he's a great quarterback, and I'm so annoyed that he's getting put in the greatest of all time conversation now.
I mean, 6 straight AFC championships.
I don't care. Jim Kelly went to 4 straight Super Bowls. We don't consider him one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
I know. That's my argument. I use that all the time.
Like
Jim Kelly should get more praise.
Jim Kelly should get more. 4 straight Super Bowls. Oh, but he lost them.
It's so funny. They say that about him, but then when you talk about LeBron James, the losses don't matter. Yeah,
I'm fed up. I'm fed up with Patrick Mahomes and his attitude this year, the last 2 years, really, and the complaining about the refs. When you can't understand that you got the easiest PI call, I'll just say in Super Bowl history. I don't even want to say NFL history, but you got a give me penalty to win a Super Bowl. You should have been beaten by Josh Allen if it weren't for fucking a kicker missing.
They called that flag in the Super Bowl pass interference.
Right.
I'm still blown away that was pass interference. Meanwhile, Roby Coleman decleats Tommy Lee Lewis while the ball is in the air, and rumor has it Bill Vinovich still hasn't thrown a flag. No, and guess what? He's going to be the Super Bowl ref this year. Bill Vinovich, who missed that flag, who missed the pass interference flag on Ted Ginn Jr. the play before, is now reffing the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, it's fixed. Stop spending energy getting upset. Stop it. Just bet the games, watch, and know
lose on the games.
It's fixed. So when you win, celebrate. When you lose, just know that that's how it's planned. They're registered as entertainment businesses. WWE was out a long time ago. They have just managed to keep the reins on this much, much longer. It's fixed.
The Roman Reigns.
These refs, I mean, nonstop every single year, all we do is complain about referees. In every sport. I mean, Nick had an MLB umpire rant last week about
but not about the MLB umpires.
About them not being that bad. You know what I mean? Like that, we've gotten to the point where like they're not that bad. They're not the worst. No, every single one of them is wrong. And the minute you move it to machines, they're still going to get it wrong because VAR is still the same fucking thing. They just call shenanigans to fix it however the fuck they want it to fix. But we're still going to be here. We're still going to be betting on it because it's fucking fun. And just separate the emotion. Just an L is an L, a win is a win. You didn't do anything anyways. So just keep it pushing. I don't have any other takeaways. I think we've beat this dead horse into the ground. Shout out Baker Mayfield for putting on a great fucking performance. I just was happy to see that. You know, even if this is his Case Keenum 1 year run, you know what I mean? At least Baker got to, you know, experience some playoff glory, get into the playoffs, win the division, do all that fun stuff. And he's in line for at least a 3-year contract now.
Oh, he's going to get some money. Yeah.
So he's what? Is he the best quarterback in that division right now?
Hey, Bryce. I will right now. Yes, we'll see what Atlanta does, but at this moment, I would. Oh man, I guess I would take Baker. I've always been a Carr fan from afar, but this year he was pretty doo doo. As far as Carr standard, as far as Carr standard goes, I think we all can agree Bryce is not there yet right now, but for this season, this moment in time, yeah, Baker's the best in the division.
And it doesn't even feel particularly close.
Not really, no. You know, we'll see what the offseason has in store, especially for Atlanta. That could really shake things up. But yeah, at this moment, yeah, it is Baker.
Love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's go ahead and get into the NFL Conference Championships. The American Football Conference and the National Football Conference will be competing for their illustrious crown this Sunday, right? Both games are on Sunday?
Yes.
So Chiefs, Ravens go first. They'll be the 12 p.m. game, and then you have the Lions 49ers at 3:30. Ravens, because they had the best record, obviously are supposed to get the most rest. Not that it matters. They're going to get 2 weeks off anyways. Let's go ahead and get into the Ravens Chiefs and go ahead and take it away, Nick, and I'll pull up the odds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep saying this until it actually happens. But you know, I had this game. I had the game in Buffalo as a defensive battle. I had it at an 18-24 game. It didn't turn out that way. A little bit more scoring for Kansas City. I still don't think Kansas City has the offense to contend with Baltimore. And I think Baltimore has the defense to contend with Kansas City. They're not really that explosive offense anymore. When these lines came out, I took Baltimore -3. and I took the under. The under hasn't changed, but I took under 44.5. I think Baltimore wins this game by at least 10.
So you're taking Baltimore minus 3.5
Mm-hmm.
and the under.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to make it official because I just said Cleveland can't cover the number 2 wide receiver. I'm also going to take a Rashad Bateman anytime touchdown.
Rashad Bateman anytime touchdown. Oh boy, let me pull up the TD scores here. Bateman is
I think it should be plus 450.
plus 450.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're picking a Baltimore advancing to the Super Bowl, correct?
Baltimore advancing to the Super Bowl. And I'll remind people that at the beginning of the playoffs, I took a plus 125 Baltimore AFC champ prop. So let's hope that hits.
Okay, perfect. So Nevada, your thoughts on this Chiefs-Ravens game? Oops, that went too far.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of piggyback off Nick. I see Baltimore both on offense, defense, special teams on. I don't pay attention that much. They both got really good kickers, but whatever. I see Baltimore head and shoulders above KC in this. Again, this is a year that KC's been down. Obviously, they've been there time and time again, but this Baltimore team just feels different. They play different. They've got a swagger about them that's different. Lamar's getting his accolades in the postseason. He just keeps trucking along from the regular season. I see Baltimore winning this one. I will also go with the points for the Ravens, and I'm going to pull up the anytime touchdown. I'm going to go with Isaiah Likely to grab another touchdown.
Oh, that's a likely pick.
Yeah.
All right, Isaiah Likely is plus 180, so you're taking Isaiah Likely ATTD plus 180. All right, so you have Baltimore minus 3.5, nothing with the over under, and then you're taking an Isaiah Likely anytime touchdown.
You know what I'll throw on there, Jermaine, after seeing these odds too. Give me a Lamar Jackson first touchdown score.
Okay. Do you have the odds on that?
That's plus 600.
Yes.
Plus 600. Okay. Man. Look, I'm going to subscribe to podcast motto. Give me Kansas City Chiefs plus 3.5.
Boo.
KC, I'm taking KC plus 3.5 for all day. I'll take the point. I was going to take the points anyways. I'll take Kansas City money line plus 160, and I'm taking KC versus Baltimore over 44.5. Purely based on the fact that two good teams like this, the line is 44 points. You're telling me it's going to be a 24-21 game, and all I need is an extra field goal or a 2-point conversion or just any other score. With two quarterbacks like this, yeah, I'll take the over in that situation. And I don't have any props off the top of my head for this one, but keep it locked on the socials. We'll be putting out some of our favorite bets for head-to-head, as well as if anyone just wants to post a bet, they'll let me know, and I'll post it for them. That wraps up. So this is going to be an incredibly interesting game. So Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce came alive last game against the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills were a red-hot football team. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Baltimore Ravens defense that I watched come out and jump all over the Houston Texans. Yes, rookie head coach, rookie OC, rookie quarterback, like rookie defensive end. Like, yes, they were an incredibly young team. So it's not that surprising to see a football team jump all over them. But this is going to be Baltimore at home. This is their first hosted AFC championship game for the Baltimore Ravens ever, I believe, which is just crazy because there's been some elite Baltimore Ravens football teams. And for them to only host an AFC Championship game once is bonkers. I do think both teams have a turnover in this one. And I really do think these defenses are going to get after it. And these short fields are going to turn it into a higher scoring game than people are used to. Take the props for Mahomes and Jackson over rush yards. If you want to get an alternate line and maybe zap a little bit of that juice just to feel a little more comfortable, go ahead. But I think both quarterbacks are going to have to use their legs to keep these offenses moving.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's go ahead and get into the NFC Championship game. Nevada, we'll start with you. The Detroit Lions are traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. This current line is San Francisco -7, over under 51, and the money line for Detroit is +250.
Right. I don't want to jinx the Lions, but I'm bought in. Plus, at this point, with the remaining 4 teams, I'd love to see the Lions take care of it and at least get to the Super Bowl. I believe, it's clear that they've taken on the personality of their head coach. They're nasty. They're tenacious. They don't give up. The offense has weapons all over the field. The running game is a two-headed monster. I remember when Jahmyr Gibbs got drafted, we were all kind of thinking like that seems kind of odd to take him. And now he's showing up as one of the best rookie running backs in the league. So I'm going to go with the Lions +7. And I'll go with the money line on the Lions as well. One of the issues I have with San Francisco is it's kind of a weird issue, but I just don't trust Kyle Shanahan in championship games. So he's reached 4 consecutive championship games in his first 4 playoff appearances, which is all good and great. There's only one other coach who has more, who went 5 for 5. That being said, as good as a coach as he is, if he loses to Detroit, he will join this list of coaches who have lost 3 straight conference championship games. I'm going to name them off. You let me know if these coaches are any good or not. John Madden, Chuck Knox, Tom Landry, and Andy Reid. I'd say pretty solid little lineup there. So as good as he is, it just concerns me. Obviously, he could turn around this year, but I'm just going to go with history right now. He just kind of seems to fall flat when it comes to championship games in the conference. And the Lions have nothing to lose. They got the monkey off their back. They rode their hometown to the conference championship. And I can almost guarantee you that stadium is going to be 50-50. Lion fans are going to show up for that game.
It's going to be this matchup is going to be interesting. So you said there's only one other coach that made it to to championships like Kyle Shanahan, right? These conference championships. Was it Andy Reid with the Eagles?
No. Let me just pull it up real quick again. It was another San Francisco coach. I'm probably going to get his last name wrong, but George Seifert.
Seifert, yep.
So he went to 5 straight conference title games in his first 5 postseasons as the head coach.
Oh, okay. So that was a San Francisco 49ers stat.
No, that's all time. There's only one coach who has gone to 5 straight conference title games in his first 5 postseasons as head coach.
Okay. And both happen to be San Fran. That's pretty crazy, actually. All right. So you had Detroit +7, Detroit money line at +250. Do you have any props that you like in this game?
I didn't look. Let me take a quick little gander here.
Well, while you're taking a look, we'll just move into Nick. Nick, your thoughts on this Detroit Lions traveling into San Francisco?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be the complete opposite of what I said for Kansas City, Baltimore. I think this is going to be a shootout in San Fran. I think we saw with Baker Mayfield and the offense that Tampa Bay has. The offense that Tampa Bay has is not the offense that San Francisco has. San Francisco has a way better offense, and except for a few key stops by the Lions, I mean that Tampa Bay offense scored 23 points. I fully believe the 49ers can score 30, but we saw, right, that the Lions can also score up there. I think this game is going to be very, very close. I have it 31-30, San Francisco, just because I think this run for Detroit has to end sometime. I think, and I think it's going to end with San Francisco because we're going up against a San Francisco team that is probably facing their easiest opponent in the NFC Championship game that they faced in the Kyle Shanahan era. That being said, I took this game when the lines came out at 6.5. I took the Lions plus 6.5. So I'm going to take the Lions plus 7. And I took the over 51, and that hasn't moved yet. So I'm going to stick with that. Brock Purdy, in games where in games following, I'll call it poor games. Brock Purdy following a poor performance. I'm saying where he has a QB rating of 90 or lower this year. He's responded with performances of 310, 2 touchdowns, 365, 1 touchdown, 314, 4 touchdowns, 272, 1 touchdown, following games of that nature. I'm going to take Brock Purdy over. I think Brock Purdy is at 272 right now is his prop, if I remember that correctly. 274.5 is his pass yards, and over 1.5. So I'm going to parlay those both together. Give me the over pass yards by itself. Brock Purdy over 274.5, and give me that parlayed with his touchdowns, over 1.5. That pays plus 151.
So Purdy yards and over 1.5 TDs is plus 171,
plus 152.
152.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I have you down for Detroit plus 7, Detroit San Fran over 51, Brock Purdy over 274.5 yards, parlay Purdy yards and over 1.5 touchdowns for plus 150.
Yeah, I mean this is going to come down to San Francisco being at home and winning this game, but Detroit's going to make it interesting for sure.
And Nevada, what prop did you have for us?
Right now I got Amon-Ra for an anytime touchdown at plus 130.
All right.
And I am tempted to go with Jahmyr Gibbs 2+ touchdowns at plus 700.
CMC, you had 3+ touchdowns last week because you got froggy with it. But if you would have taken that 2, you would have cashed. So let's see. So you're taking you're not taking Gibbs though.
Let's get froggy. Yeah, I'll take it. Why not?
Gibbs 2+ touchdowns. And what was the odds on that?
700.
Ooh, that's much better than Christian McCaffrey. So I am going to take San Francisco -7. I'm going to take Detroit versus San Fran under 51. And I'm going to take I'm not taking San Fran money line. It's fucking stupid. I'm not confident in this Detroit Lions team, and I hope they keep proving me wrong. So I'm not going to bet with them. I don't know how they've made it this far. Let's put it that way. I don't know how they've won this many games. It feels like their defense doesn't seem quite that great at any one thing, but seems to be serviceable at all of it enough to win games. And I'll be less disappointed betting with San Francisco and them losing than betting with Detroit and them losing. If that makes any sense. I am concerned that the Deebo Samuel injury is going to rear his head in this game. And I hope that, San Francisco can unlock Brandon Ayuk, can leverage CMC and Elijah Mitchell in a much more reliable fashion. And George Kittle has a big impact on this game. And George Kittle should, because Detroit is not good at guarding the tight end position. And that's what leads me to my touchdown scores. I know George Kittle scored a touchdown last week. And so you typically you kind of want to fade that kind of production. But I'm anticipating a Deebo Samuel miss. So I'm going Kittle anytime touchdown at plus 105. Especially, this is a defense that I've targeted all year in fantasy as far as starting tight ends against it. And so I'm going to follow suit with my bets. And if Deebo Samuel misses, I want to get a Ray McLeod plus anytime touchdown scorer at plus 650. Usually when someone misses, someone else has got to score, right? The other name that I thought of was rookie wide receiver Ronnie Bell at plus 750. And you always have the ever-present Kyle Juszczyk at plus 1,000. You had Craig. Go ahead.
I was going to say, can I interest you guys in a Kyle Juszczyk little slip out? McCaffrey fades it. Detroit's good against the run, but they just sneak him across the line and just a 2-yard little dink touchdown.
He burnt me last week. Too bad.
Nick bet him last week, so this is the week. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we say, this is the week to bet that Kyle Juszczyk anytime touchdown. I'm going chalk. I'm going chalk with my choice for here in the NFC Championship game. I think we're going to get an unexpected rematch of Kansas City versus San Francisco. But I would probably much rather like a Baltimore-San Francisco final. Or, to be honest, I mean, we all kind of want a Baltimore-Detroit matchup because nobody's really going to be upset except for like Steelers fans and Packers, Vikings, Bears fans. Like division rivals are the other ones who care. And everyone else is kind of pulling for, especially the Detroit Football Lions.
And it kills me. It kills me to take San Francisco in a win there because I did take a Detroit NFC Championship prop at the beginning of the playoffs plus 850.
So you don't have the stones. You know what he's doing? He's hedging himself right now. It's because he knows he sucks at picking them.
Listen.
Cost me a 20,300 parlay.
I am great. I'm great at compartmentalization in my head. So those bets, that's a different guy. That's Nicholas who made those bets. I don't even know that guy. I'm not gonna fight that guy. Sucks at betting. Why would I follow him?
The ever-present asshole, Nicholas. Ugh. Nevada, you got anything before we wrap this up?
No, I think it's going to be a good slate. Hopefully, we don't have to see the Taylor Swift Super Bowl. That's all I care about.
That's all I want.
Yeah. That's all you guys.
That's all I want for Christmas.
You guys have gone so far off the deep end on that. It's hysterical.
I hate it. Stop. I don't care how Taylor Swift celebrates when when the Chiefs score a touchdown. I don't care. Who is that for?
It feels like Steph Curry's wife all over again.
Oh, yeah. Or like Steph Curry's kid all over again.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, show Steph Curry's kid clapping in the stands.
Yeah, but she was adorable. You can't really... Come on now. It's a kid.
She's better than Taylor Swift. Did you hear me bitching about Steph Curry's kid?
No, you did not.
No? I was going to say the only closest thing we have in this in football was the Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson saga.
And Jesus Christ, did they fucking show her every game?
That's true. God damn, that Jessica Simpson, she was every completion from Tony Romo was
right.
Oh, look at Jessica Simpson. I'm just like, I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how we feel now. Again.
It's come full circle.
They do this. Like it sucks like when you have the sound off and then they cut to someone's family in the crowd or whatever. I'm like, who the fuck are they?
Like with like Tommy DeVito when they just cut to a random New Jersey family in the stands. I was like, why are they showing these dumbass Giants fans in the stands? He's like, oh.
Yeah, I don't look. If you've hung around and watched enough sports with me, you know I have a personal vendetta with the goddamn executive producers of these football games. Not just football games, like just any executive producers. They suck.
Aw.
They suck. You and Eric included, the worst. We don't have anything else for you. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Podcast Room303. Follow our sister pod, Revenge of the Pod, on the same social medias. I will get their handles. I know I've said that a few times, but they didn't make them uniform, and so I gotta remember them. And that's a lot of work, dude. For myself, Jermaine Colon Mendez, for my co-host, Nicholas Moran, for our executive producer, Nevada Putnam, we'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.